Are you considering buying or selling or maybe doing both in the Lubbock area this spring or coming summer? You'll want to listen in to this market update because this will give you insights on how to make smart moves. Hey there, I'm Jayci, your go-to Lubbock real estate expert, and I am here to make buying and selling real estate simple, easy, and efficient. And today we are going to break down what happened during the first quarter in the Lubbock real estate market, and this will give you some knowledge moving forward as to what the second quarter may bring based on what happened January, February, and March of 2025. Let's dive in. Let's start with a quick snapshot of some of the basics. So average and median sales price across Lubbock for the past 3 months. In January, we started off with an average sales price of $279,771. In February, it went up just slightly to $282,223. But then in March, we dropped back down below January to $267,105. So that means we saw a really strong start to the year, followed by a slight dip in March, which is actually fairly normal for quarter one numbers in the Lubbock area because of the seasonality of the real estate market. And then if we look at the median prices overall were fairly stable, hovering around that $229,000 to $235,000 range overall from January through March. And our absorption rate, which is the rate in which if no new homes came onto the market, so no new listings went on, it would take us this amount of time to go through our current inventory before we ended up with no inventory. So our absorption rate stayed fairly steady at 4.13 in February and March, putting us right on the edge of a balanced market with a slight lean towards buyers. So that 4.13, there is around 4 months of inventory that we have right now on the market that it would take us to get through before we ended up with no more homes if no new homes came on to the market. And with that slight lean towards buyers, that's just meaning that there is more inventory available for buyers to look at and decide between, giving them a little bit of an edge over sellers versus COVID era, which was a really strong sellers market. Sellers had a lot of the power during the COVID pandemic whenever it came to real estate transactions. And as we talk about buyers, we can discuss the buyer demand. So if we look at pending listings, so houses that have gone under contract, it jumped from 486 pending listings in February to 549 pending listings in March. And that's a really good sign that buyers are getting more active as we head into spring and summer, the warmer months, which is typically Lubbock's busy season for real estate transactions. And looking at those transactions at that buyer activity, the hottest price ranges for listings going under contract was $150,000 to $300,000. So that range is staying pretty busy with houses going under contract. We also saw, though, some big gains in that $500,000 to $1 million range, which tells me that move-up buyers and luxury buyers are feeling confident again in buying those bigger, luxurious homes. And if you are considering buying right now, or you are in the middle of buying right now, this is your sign that inventory is starting to shrink a little bit and good homes are moving so quickly, which I can attest to. I had a buyer client that we just barely missed on a home. It was only on the market like 2 days. And before we could go back for a second showing with their family, it was already under contract. So if you are considering buying, be serious about it and be ready to make an offer when you find that house you love. And as far as sellers, don't be discouraged because things are looking pretty solid for you. The average days on market went from 91 in January to 82 in March. So it's taking around 82 days for homes to get sold on the market. It can be faster, it could be slower, but the average is around 82 for March. And that shows that homes are selling faster now than they were at the very beginning of the year. And a couple of things that stood out to me is sales in the $200,000 to $249,000 range were up 28.1% in March compared to January and February. That is a pretty common price range for first-time home buyers or first-time move-up buyers, because those are the homes that are fitting growing families. So again, $200,000 to $249,000 range, up 28% in March. So if you're in that range, things are looking really good for you. The other thing that stood out to me is the homes in the $400,000 to $549,000 range saw some pretty big spikes in pending contracts as well during the first quarter, which is a good sign for homes that are a little bit higher end, a little more luxury or bigger. Those houses are moving too. You don't have to be discouraged that a bigger, more expensive home is going to languish on the market. It all comes down to price and presentation. So if you are thinking about selling, do not wait. March trends show that buyers are already really active and writing strong offers. So you don't necessarily have to wait till later in the summer or into the fall to get your house sold. And here's the wild part. New listings in March were down 9.5% compared to last year. That means we're seeing fewer homes hit the market just as buyers are starting to ramp up and get active. And that sweet spot, $200,000 to $300,000, because the inventory there is a little tighter. And if you are a seller in that range, you have some leverage. And if you're a buyer in that range, be sure to get pre-approved and be ready to move quickly. So what's my forecast going into the second quarter of 2025? More competition between buyers, more listings coming, but not quite enough to flood the market. And prices will likely hold steady or even tick up, especially in those homes that are under $400,000. So if you are buying, start now before multiple offers becomes a normal thing again. And if you are selling, get ahead of that inventory spike, because March proved that there are serious buyers out there ready to make a deal. If you are thinking about buying or selling in Lubbock or the Lubbock area, I would love to help you make that process simple, easy, and efficient, and get you to that closing table and either get you those keys or get you those proceeds. All of my contact information is down below in the description. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell to be notified anytime I share new content about the Lubbock market or real estate insights or any other things that have to do with Lubbock. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch y'all next time.